What's up, ladies, gentlemen? How are you doing? Let's try this. See what happens, huh? Aha. I see vertical shows up on the mobile device, but I gotta mute my mobile device here. There we go. What's going on, ladies, gentlemen? Haha. One person. Who is it? Come in, come in. Looks like I gotta reposition that pole on the vertical live. It's kind of covering up the bottom of the bottom of the screen. Doesn't really come out. Let's see if I can get rid of that or change that. How about that? Two people. Come in, come in. Can you guys hear me okay? Check, check, check. Looks like I got audio. Let's see here. Yeah, the vertical, yeah, covers up the bottom of the vertical. See if we can change that. Come in, people. Come in. Come in. See if I can find the poll that I set here. Widgets. I'm still learning. StreamYard's gotten a little more complicated. Come in, people. Come in. Come in. Come in. Looks like I got two people watching. See if we can do something about that poll here. Anybody? Can you hear me? Test, test, test. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear me okay? Anybody? Come in. Come in. Let's see. I gotta find this this poll here that I set, and then change it. Regular font, small. Aha! Thank you, Patricia. Did you see my my comment on my reply on your comment? Is that how you found out? You know, on this, I see on if you're looking at me on your phone, the questionnaire, the poll there is covering up the bottom of the screen. But on the vertical, on the landscape, it's in that top right corner. This is that StreamYard that I was telling you about. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm kind of overwhelmed right at the moment with stimuli. I'm trying to figure out where this poll is that I just created. Are you looking at me on your laptop or on a telephone? Uh-huh. Amy. What's up? I'm going to call you Amy because that's bon ami. No, I was a Navy corpsman. On the telephone? Okay. Do you see the the pole covering up the bottom of the screen? I got to get rid of that, or I got to move it, or something. I got to try something different. Ah, for French. Okay, okay. I mean, for good friend in French. Okay. Let me uh, let me keep looking for it. Somehow I gotta. Oh, there's your comments. Are the comments showing up on the? No, they're not. For those looking on a laptop or a desktop, you'll get a much more kind of interactive experience. I'm using both the vertical live for the phone and the landscape mode for uh, laptop and desktop. And for those on a laptop or desktop, you can see the comments scrolling over there on the right. And then up here is the poll. On the screen is more like a TV format, 16 by 9, where on a phone it's 9 by 16. 9 by 16. So that's, but the, but I can see, I'm on the phone also. I can see my phone. And you see the poll is covering up the bottom of the screen there. That white strip right there. And you really can't see the whole, oh, you can scroll. Yeah. What is the truth and how do you know? A person, a place, or a thing? Oh, sorry. So I gotta find the poll. Where is it? Let's see here. That's not it. That's not it. Um, that's inviting somebody. Let's see. I just created it. Now I gotta find it. So, is a person. Ah. And how do you know that? Bon ami. A thing is an inanimate object. A place is always a memory. I agree with you that it's a person. And how do we know that? What's aggravating, uh, Patricia? The the uh, the poll on the bottom of the screen there. Okay, I gotta do something about this here. Where is it? Let's see, light dark. Um, where is it? Where is it? Layout, guest, recording, visual effects, audio, camera. Dang it, I had it before. But I think I have to. Um, oh, you can see the poll if you turn it sideways. Oh, you can see the whole thing. Well, all you got to do is scroll up, and you can do it that way too. Um, generally appreciate your input, dedication, improving the world. Thanks for your sacrifice. Hoorah. Um, thank God for the military. Anyways, let me go back to the comments. See if I can find this poll. How I created it here. The heck? Add item. Wait a minute. See if I can change something. Oh, what was that? trash, delete. Is that it? What is delete? What am I going to delete here? If I hit delete, 2. There are two different options. So let me keep working on it here. He's new. Actually, I'm not to StreamYard, but StreamYard has very new features, and that poll is one. And I just set it, and now although I think I have to go back. Let me, okay. I'm back. Iraq, Patricia, not Iran. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. I hit the back button, and that took me off stage. I was saying it's Iraq, Patricia, not Iran. No, they're two different entities there, chat and the poll. Give me 1 second. Yeah, there's a chat shows up on screen. Let's see here. Over here, visual effects, edit name and headline. Let's see if it's there. Nope. Yeah, the poll is not part of chat. It's different. Dang it, where is it? So is the poll what? Sorry. Turn the chat off to see the poll? No, the poll is already up. We're trying to get rid of the poll because in the vertical chat, a vertical live on a phone, it's covering up the bottom of my neck up to my chin. Trying to get rid of that or reposition the poll. I can do that. And I put it in the upper right corner of a landscape mode. But when it transitions to the vertical mode, it positions it down here at the bottom. So I got to change that. Just bear with me. I'll figure it out eventually. Private chat, people, notes, widgets. Oh, here it is under widgets. All right, I'm going to reposition it here. See what it does. I found it. It's under widgets. This is bottom left. See if that changes the vertical. No, it doesn't. Bottom right. Nope. Top left. No. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of the poll. How about that? Stop the poll. And let's see. Come on. Come on. Get rid of it. Hide it. Okay, wait. Hide it. There we go. Okay. We got it. Okay, it was under widgets. So, all right, you good to go? You can see me now, full, down to my chest. Okay. You heard a cute, what? Giggle in the background. Was that me? No, I got music in the background, but no giggle, unless it was me. So. Okay, back to business here. Maybe the music. Yeah, it's instrumental music in the background. Maybe it's not the microphone on the camera. I'm using actually a DSLR, a digital single lens reflex, as my primary camera. So I'm not using my phone, as the camera like I was earlier, or how I normally live stream. Before, I used to live stream regularly on this StreamYard platform using I'm pointing at my camera. And it's quite, to me, it was quite confusing at the beginning. It took me like 3 years. I tried hooking up my camera to the Xbox and using it as an external camera, like a, what do you call it? The webcam. But I read about webcams. Webcams, just weren't as quality as smartphones and, what is available today. So I decided to nix that idea. So I thought, is there any way to hook up your digital single lens reflex or any camera and run it through the Xbox? Because that's what I'm using right now. I'm using the Xbox controller on my television right now to navigate. This is my keyboard, basically. So anyhow, I tried figuring out how to hook up an external camera, and I hit a dead end. Frustrated, I just gave up, said, I won't do it. So throughout the years, occasionally I would go back and say, okay, let me try again, see if I can figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. And then I again, literally, I think it was like third year, I looked it up again, and sure enough, I hit on something. And all it required was an adapter, a HDMI adapter, to adapt to the Xbox. A USB adapter, USB to HDMI adapter. So you plug the USB into the back of the Xbox, and then you plug in the HDMI into the adapter, and the cord is running about 10 feet over here to me, to the camera, and you plug it into the, that special, I don't know what connector that is on a camera, the video. It's like a micro HDMI, I think, onto the camera. And sure enough, bloop, the camera, I turn the camera on and voila, I've got my face staring at me on the television. Here you go. Here, let me show you. There you go. See? That's my monitor right now, my 60-inch TV. Okay? So, I figured it out. Figured out how to hook up an external camera onto my Xbox. And then one thing led to the next, and then StreamYard, and yada, yada, yada. The rest is history. And I haven't used StreamYard in probably 2 years. And like I said, since then, there's so many extra options now that you can choose from. And it is well, I don't know if you saw that when I turned it around, but it's quite the setup. And I'm not even using half of what is available. You can put on a full podcast, with background music. And I had an intro, and I forgot to include music with my intro, which I normally do. And when I hit go live, the countdown started. I have a 30-second timer, this overlay that precedes the live stream. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, countdown all the way down to 0. And I'm usually got music behind it accompanying the countdown. And when I hit go live, the countdown started, but it was quiet. And I went, oh, and I can't go back. I'm already committed at that point. So I'll do it next time. I'll get more organized next time. So many variables to remember, and I forgot. So. No. Patricia is a fellow Michigan. Again, I got to remember. It's the abbreviation for the geese. Michiganian. What? I asked, what do you call people from Michigan? I forgot. What is it again, Patricia? No. I might be Patricia's, but Patricia's not mine. My wife is mine. Patricia's she's just becoming a veteran here as a avid visitor here on my live stream. Teo. Oh yeah, there's people that come in and you get the drill. You got everybody calling me names, accusing me of stolen valor. I had a fellow, I'm going to say he wasn't a shipmate, but I had a fellow shipmate come in and challenge me, saying, when did they start wearing rank on a cover? And I said, when have they not? He says, I'm active duty. He said, I'm a CB. He says, he's accusing me of stolen valor. I said, dude, are you blue side or green side? And it's like, it shut him up. And I'm like, yeah, you think? I said, you just know blue side, meaning Navy side. Green side is Marine. I said, you go green side, you'll be able to wear your rate rank on your cover. And he was going toe to toe with me. I flipped him off. It's like, get out of here. I didn't put him on timeout, but yeah. Teo's another regular. He's a fellow Filipino. I'm involved in Filipino live stream community, and my wife's from the Philippines, and so the rest is history. So that's how I got started in this live stream. That's how I learned about live streaming. That's how I learned about anything or everything I know pretty much about YouTube is through the live stream community, the Filipino live stream community. They taught me. Yep. And then eventually I went live and so on. Michigander, that's it. A gander of geese. That's what I was thinking. That's how I remembered it. A gander of geese. And it's appropriate because there's so many Canadian geese up in Michigan, as there is here. I'm pointing out at the lake that I fish at. They always migrate down here. Pretty, pretty birds. You see people that come in who accuse me of things like stolen valor. They make comments like, "You are not a Marine," and you know what? I was not. You see, if you knew, you would hold your tongue, and accuse and not accuse, and explain what that is and why it's on a Marine cover. Now he's confused, or she, whoever it is. Like, go away there, know-it-all. Get your ducks in a row before you start accusing. And see, people that don't know, they make comments like that because they don't know. So they'll get educated and end up having a foot put in their mouth. Insert foot into mouth. Yeah, it's okay. I'll tell you in a minute. What can I call you? I don't know. I'm going to call you Amy. I think you're a guy, but I'm going to call you Amy because that's the easiest thing to say in your name. Oh, on GTV? Teo, why don't I know your background in the military, or do I? And I just forgot. Forgive me if you're a veteran yourself, and forgive me big time, but in my mind, I'm saying I didn't know that. Did you tell me already and I forgot? Crystal. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Crystal's in Canada. Oh, you're not in Canada, Patricia. She's over, Crystal, you're over in Alberta, right? Edmonton, Alberta area? OMFG. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Yes, GTV, my sister. Wait. Bon ami, your sister. Is that your sister? Like, really? Talaga? Tinood? Alberta first. Up, came in. Right on. Oh, you know what? I turned off the poll, but I didn't mean to turn off the what was it under again? Widgets? Here, hold on. That's showing the poll. I don't want to show the poll. I want to show the chat. Okay. I shut that off on the landscape mode. Huh. Okay. Comments. Okay. Comments. Yeah, anyhow, Edmonton, Alberta. Right. Yeah, Crystal's a longtime visitor. She's been coming in forever and ever before I stopped live streaming. Oh, you know what, though? Okay, I'm not in the center of the screen. This way. There we go. I think that'll correct. Aha. Sorry about that. I'm looking at the landscape mode and I'm positioning myself appropriately for photography. I'm the rule of thirds in photography, horizontally and vertically. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I was positioning myself where it looks the best, which is over here in that's the left third of the horizontal. So anyways, but it cuts off in the vertical. So I got to put myself in the center in order for vertical to be centered. So, okay, got it. I'm learning here. This is a feature that is new. You can broadcast in both vertical and horizontal. And you wonder, why would you want to do that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because vertical mode is the short, the shorts on your phone, which everybody, flips through and scrolls through, when they get recommendations, they're just flipping through the shorts. Well, shorts gets more views, exponentially more views than landscape mode. Landscape mode is made for movies or videos, full format videos. That does, unless you're a channel that is thriving and has, a regular audience. Like I don't, my regular videos don't get very many views. But if I go short format, which is the verticals, what you're seeing on your phone right now, it gets exponentially more views. So that's what I want for now. I want more views. The more people I can get in my chat room, the longer I can, the longer they stay, it adds to the amount of watch hours to my live stream, which is hypothetically a video. You're watching a live video of me. So it's like watching a video of mine for an hour. And how often does anybody sit and watch a YouTube video for an hour without interruption? It's very rare. You don't put out hour videos on YouTube. There are, but I'm just saying hour videos are not common. So the solution is make shorts and you'll get more views, hence more watch hours, people spending time watching you. Another way to get watch hours is to do live streaming, because you're spending minutes and it'll turn into a half an hour, and some stay in for hours chatting, like Patricia. She's hooked. I'm kidding, Patricia, but that's how you get watch hours. One way of getting watch hours, more watch hours, is to do a live stream. So you need a short format, the vertical format, 9:16, 9:16. A TV, your TV in your home or your monitor on your computer is 16:9, 16:9. That's the full format. So visually, when you're watching a movie, you want it to be in 16:9. That's like going to the theater. The theater is in 16:9 format. So that is visually more attractive. You can see more. You can see more to the right, more to the left. But when you're looking on a phone, very rare, or not rare, it's more common for people to keep their phone in an upright vertical mode. Those that know better will turn it sideways when they're taking pictures and get a much more full experience with their photos and their videos. And if you're going to make videos, full format videos for a platform like YouTube or Vimeo, you want 16 by 9. But most people, lay people, will sit there with their phone vertical, and video anything and everything. And it's very distracting to see those bars on the side of your video, because you're only filming this much of the 16 by of the television, right? How many videos do you see, where you just got the vertical video and the two bars, blurred bars on each side? It's because they're filming in portrait mode or vertical mode. All they got to do is turn their camera sideways and it'll fill up landscape mode and then you video. So anyways, a little education on photography, videography, and social media. So what did I miss? United States Air Force, did I just see? Is this AI? Is what AI? Sorry, I'm missing. This is definitely AI. What's AI? This right here? Well, thank you. I guess I'm a pretty good robot. Tio, what did you do? Oh, I missed your comment, Tio, about whether or not you were in the military. Here we go. I'm scrolling back. Sorry. I get talk. I rarely mention my military service, but on that occasion, someone did not believe me, Doc. Well, I'm scrolling back. I'm trying to read. What branch were you at? Okay, I just went back. I didn't see it. Nope, that was when Patricia was talking about the veterans taking their lives. And then all veterans should become firefighters. They're built for it. It was the best way. I was a paramedic. I was in emergency medicine, Alberta. I worked with firefighters side by side for 20 years. And I actually applied for a firefighter paramedic position up in Oregon. But I ended up not continuing the interview process because I was offered a job at a private ambulance up in Washington County, Oregon. And I didn't go back to do the oral in a part of the interview. I took the physical fitness test, the firefighter physical fitness test, and I passed. They told me I actually did pretty well for my age at the time compared to the younger kids, and that I was accepted to come back and interview for the oral. And I was like, whoa, I really passed that. But then I was offered a job and I was hurting, like I needed a job yesterday. And I was moving to Oregon. So it was like I needed a job really before I moved. So I decided to accept the job instead of going back in, because I wasn't guaranteed that I was going to get one of those positions, because I was still competing against, the entrance, and the oral was just the next step in the interview process. But I was pretty lean and mean then, up until I was 53 years old, so I was able to hold my own. So I'm scrolling back. Tio, what branch did you serve in? How come I'm not seeing it? It's a privilege to serve my country. He's not paying attention to chat. Well, it's kind of hard to do both, but I'm doing my best there. This is definitely AI. I'm catching up, guys. Oh, Air Force. I was in the Air Force. Oh, you were in the Air Farce. FARCE. That's a play on each other. I'm still looking at Kai Ye comments here. Are you in the Midwest, Bonami? I'm assuming you are. It's 2-hour difference from me. Department of Defense, MWR, Marine Welfare Recreation. Wait a minute, MWR. Is that the same as Marine Welfare and Recreation? Or is that an abbreviation for something else in the Air Force? Salamat. What? You're speaking Tagalog now. Is GTV really your sister? Oh, wait. I see it. Doc. I'm catching up. Perseo, you're an old man. Stop living in the past. All right. Stay in chat, but you got to, in the morning, Air Force. Exactly. Yeah, it's the Marine Corps. That's, we all have their insults to each other. The Marines are the misguided children. USMC, United States Misguided Children. Air Force, that's the Air Force. Army is, I forget, and Navy squids. There's another, yeah. Anyways, good night, Bonami. In Minnesota. Yeah. It's 1:55 here in New Jersey. Okay, I'm caught up now. Well, hoorah, Teo. Maybe I knew that, but I forgot. But I'm going to say I didn't know that. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Maybe not. Wait. I got more comments on my phone than I do up here on the screen. Let's see here. Yeah. There we go. There's no sweeter sound for a Marine than an AC-130. How come all my comments aren't showing up here? Hold on. I've got a problem here. Oh, no. It just populated just now. Okay. It's like I can see it on my phone, but I couldn't see it up here. AC-130 gunship. Those things are impressive. Oh, sister by live only. Okay. That's what I kind of thought when you said that. You were just calling her sister, as in she's female, so she's sister. Are you Filipino, Shannon? Is that Bonami? Is that Shannon? Sorry. So you're female. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm having problems scrolling here. Oswald, Uncle, what do you think about the big Yahoo? I don't know what that is. What's that? And you're calling me Uncle, so are you Indian? I'm gonna guess. Air Force mess hall serving SOS. Oh, Big Yahoo is Benjamin Netanyahu. Hoorah! I think he's the man. One of them. But what is your heritage then? I'm curious because many cultures will use that term of respect. Turkish. Okay. The Filipinos, for example, they say uncle, tito, or kuya, um, equivalent to uncle. So if you interpret that, they would be calling me uncle. And I think in India, they refer to um, their elders either as big brother if you're of similar age, but I'm older. It's going to be a big brother or the word that is equivalent to big brother, and or uncle if uh, they are the brother of their uh, their aunt. You know, I would be their uncle. Yeah, it's pretty much worldwide, I would say, in some fashion or another. You know, they've got some way of respect, you know, terms. It's not just America. It's called since biblical times. Since in the beginning God created, God implemented that hierarchy of respect for a reason. Yeah, or Abi or Abba for older brother. I just say Abba is father. See, that's biblical, bro. Oswald. I wonder if that's comes from Abba, father. Hoorah, Taylor. Praise God for the military. Hoorah, Alberta. Oh, you were? I didn't even see you on the one before this earlier when I was in my car. I'm sorry. And I apologize at the end if I didn't pick up everybody's notice that everybody was anybody that came in that I missed. So you must have been one of those. Fishing live. There you go, Solomon. Suleiman. Hmm. Speaking of StreamYard, watch what I can do. And he requested a fishing live video. Well, I can do that. I can share screen on this StreamYard. Hold on. I'll bring up a fishing live video. Check it out. You guys get to enjoy the some of the options of StreamYard. Let's see here. Do I got Good. YouTube already playing here? No, I don't. Let's see. There it is. No, it is YouTube. Hold on. And I'll be able to scroll through it. I believe. Let's see if I can. Hold on. Let's see what this does. Stand by. Oh, no. You probably are going to be able to. I got to sign in. Okay, I didn't know. I may have just ended my live stream here. Stop sharing. Oh no, the whole screen went blank. Oh no. Stand by. Oh, it did share. It did share screen. Okay. Let's see here. Stream, Google, YouTube. Uh, it looks like I am broadcasting still, huh? I can't even see myself on the screen, but I must be because I can see myself on my phone. Stand by. Give me 1 second. I'm going to continue here, and I'll come back in a second. If it looks like I'm still broadcasting, so let's see here. My channel, and then I'll go back to StreamYard and I'll share here. And as soon as I get it up here, my channel, and then I'll be able to show some Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. It's trying to happen. This is crazy. My whole TV, except shutting off, everything disappeared. The whole browser shut down. It went back to the Xbox, choosing from YouTube, browser, Netflix, yada, yada, yada. Everything disappeared. All the tabs I had open, gone. But you know what? I remember something, and that is Xbox is not a laptop. It's not a hard drive. It doesn't hold memory. It has very limited capability when it comes to data. And that's what I did more than likely. I overwhelmed it. When I went to try to share screen, I just added an other variable to Xbox ability to do that. And it didn't like it, and it shut everything off. And I remember from the past that is an issue. And that's the drawback of using the TV as a monitor. It's not a laptop. Yoon, you're back. You're the guy from or girl from Korea. I called you Megan. So I probably lost everybody, but I hope they come back. Yeah, what are we down to? 3 people? Yeah. Patricia, now forgive me. I know I'm not supposed to ask ladies their age, but you told me before, I believe, and trying to remember. I mean, you don't have to reveal, but you're like my age or older? Or forgive me if you're not, but I'm trying to remember. Oh, you posted it. How come it shows up? Yeah, you're like my big sister. Okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah, this thing, for some reason, I think I need to put this on show all comments or something. Oh, here's the show the comments on stage. Oh, there you go. That just popped up on the vertical live, so you'll be able to see your comments on the screen here momentarily. There they are. See them right at the bottom right. Okay, it's a StreamYard feature. So very good. Oh, and I'm not really in the middle of the screen again. Let me fix that. Let's see if I can correct it. It's like a 15-second delay. Here we go. Did I go the wrong way? Yeah, I did. Let's try to fix that. There we go. Yeah, that's more in the middle. Okay. Yeah, my brother's a little bit about a year younger than you are. You're 58, right? He's 59, or are you 57? I don't mean age, your birth year. 19. '58. Oh, 56. Okay. Yeah, well, he's 59, so you're 3 years older. Actually, he's 3 years older than me, so you're 3 years older than him. So it's 62, 59, and 56. So you're 6 years older than I am. Gotcha. Not quite. You're not 70 yet. Are you turning 70 this year? You must be. Eastwood. You're not the first to say that. Pierce Brosnan is the most popular lookalike that people say. Clint Eastwood. This November. Okay. November what? My son's birthday. My eldest son is in November. The big 7-0. Oh no, what are we going to do? Oh no, Clint's the man. November 24. My son's 22. Thanksgiving Day, 1984. He was born on Thanksgiving Day. Take my cover off, but you know what? Not in the military anymore. I'm a civilian. So there are exceptions to a military uniform. Look it up. Rhino. I thought you were wanting to see my hair. I read it as take your cover off. Oh, indoors. Oh, he's being a smartass. Some years, exactly. I think it was like every 9 years or 7 years for my son. Nice try, Rhino. Being a smartass? Is that it? Being, yeah. Are you prior military by any chance, Rhino? Well then, who am I? Wow, I'm surprised that's all you had to say was take your cover off indoors instead of acknowledging who I am and commenting on that. Rather commenting on that instead of your smartass comment. Hold on, Patricia. I gotta catch up to Rhino here. Put him in his place. So, well, you should be able to put 2 and 2 together and figure out who or what I was. Yeah, don't piss off Doc, Rhino. Right? You should know better. I carry big needles. And I won't give you your 800 of vitamin M, your Motrin, when you want it. Correct. I was with the 123 Marines out of Houston, Texas, over in Iraq, 2004, 2005. Fob Heat. Well, he he assumed when he made that comment. IDK. Is that right? I don't know. Oh, custom. What's that? CM custom signs. or you can't see our Creator, but can see His love all around you. I'm a turtle, okay, not military, but I've been to Turtle Cove Environmental Research Center in Louisiana. I have secrets, but I'd bore you to death talking about the importance of native trees. What? Where did your comment come from? I'm a turtle, not military. I think I've seen that on the map when I was living in Louisiana, and I was looking to see, just in curiosity, what's the map down here, and I think I saw Turtle Cove. It's like a little causeway that goes out in the middle of the Gulf, or the shore there, and it's a research center all by itself out there. Is that right? I'm trying to recall this memory. Squid. What's up, Minuter? What's sorry? Oh, that's why I don't know that MOS there. 13F. What's Fister? What's a Fister? Is that like a mortar, or some kind of a big gun or something? Cuckoo to chew. Yeah, that's Patricia. You're funny. You see, people that know better. Wait, whatever happened to the retired Marine? He never commented. Were there ever any for the FA, forward observer for the FA? Oh my gosh, you have to. Too many abbreviations in the military. Educate us. What's FA? Okay, Robert. Oh, field artillery. You know what? That's what I was referring to. I just by the term Fister, I thought of artillery, and I couldn't think of the name that I was trying to pull out of my head. Well, why? That was like a vague memory way back here. I figured that was like artillery or something to do with artillery, and I don't know why. And it was correct. Is that what Fister is referring to? What's Fister? I don't want to ask. I'm afraid to ask because I know what the derogatory implication of a Fister is. But I figured, is that like what you ram inside the barrel? Is that what they call it, a Fister? Yeah, when someone or something has to disappear, call us. I like it. I love it. I like it. I love it. What is it? What is it, Patricia? Tell me more of it. No, I like it. I love it. Da 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 da. You were quoting a song earlier, I think. I think that's got to be what it is. That's why they call it a Fister. Because it's Fister's the nickname. Yeah, I figured. Only gun bunnies put ordnance in field guns. I love it. I got to go down inside of a M1 Abrams, and they were showing me their the 155 rounds, their stack of them, and they manually loading that thing. Or actually, they put it in a rack, I think, and then it kind of automated it. Feeds itself into the. Maybe not. Maybe they put it right smack and they close the. I forget. But he was giving me a tour of the Abrams. in their little cage down below. I got a picture of me standing there drinking coffee with my coffee cup, standing next to the M1, the Abrams. When they came in and they were starting to occupy our fob and we were being relieved. So everything was kind of transforming as we were getting ready to leave. Matter of fact, do I have that picture? Like with that? See, now I'm afraid to share screen. If I was on a laptop, it would be no brainer. But if I try it now, I'm probably going to close it down. So I got to do it the old school way and try to just share a picture. See if I got that picture here in my little black book. Me standing next to the M1. There's the, where's the camera? That's coming home up in the 7-ton. Had somebody take a picture. That's at Fob Heat. And then let's see, where's that M1 Abrams picture here? Who's that? Who's that handsome guy, Patricia? With the it's kind of hard to focus, but wow, what a deceiving picture that is. I'll tell you the story behind that one. Were there any intellectuals in the Army? I don't quite understand. What do you mean intellectuals? Let's see. There it is. There it is. There I am, right smack in the middle. A coffee cup in my hand. That was the crew that gave me the tour. Yep. Isn't that cool? Educated. Well, I figured that meant educated, but were there any in the Army? I wasn't in the Army. I was in the Navy with the Marine Corps. Why, you handsome devil dog? Here I am with the high-speed shades, and I rigged up that headlamp only because it's not military issue. I got it from home. My climbing, the guy from Yugoslavia, that's Islam, and me with my, you can see the 9mm holster on my leg, my left leg, by the way, only because I shoot left-handed. Some good-looking female doc somewhere with my fellow corpsman. What was his name? Forget. This is me after shedding tears with my son. Gosh, this picture's horrible with this camera. When I got back there at 29 Palms, and he met up with me and mom and my son and the whole family. My mom screaming bloody murder as I stepped off the bus in tears. And my son was in tears, and that's my eldest. Well, he's only in his 20s there, but that was 20 years ago. And then, let's see, I think that's the end of my, the military photos. So. Goth? Son? No, he's not. Oh, I have. The gray hair, I can't seem to stop it. Graying everywhere, right? In my eyebrows. Oh, 3 languages, knows about history, philosophy. Were there any people like that? Well, I'm sure there were, but I don't know if I met them or not. We had coffee and tea, I think I mentioned, every night when we could, about 8:30 every night with the interpreters. And the interpreters had friends and friends and friends of friends, and they would show up out of nowhere. And all of a sudden into the room, some guys would show up, and Marines would show up, and they were intelligence officers, commissioned officers, the higher ranking, those that I have to salute when they step into a room. But they were just there to shoot the bull with the interpreters. And they had some pretty intense stories. They were pretty intellectuals who were multilingual. Yeah. You've mentioned 29 Palms. Wow. You see? Well, it's a small world, Patricia, when it comes to the Marine Corps and the Navy. You know, the Marines follow the Navy, Navy follows the Marines. And so where there's Marines, there's Navy. Where there's Navy, there's Marines. And you'll find them on all the Marine Corps bases, the Navy bases. Now it's a branch operation, all the bases in the United States, even the world, where the United States have bases like in Italy and Spain. They all the branches of the military share bases now. I think Fort Dix, which is originally an army base, Fort Dix is called Joint Base. I forget the name, but it's a joint base where it used to be kind of like a friendly rivalry, between Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. And we all kept to ourselves, and Navy base was a Navy base / Marines, but you didn't have Army, landing there or operating out of there or berthing. Well, now it's wide open. So it's not, now you can go to a Navy base, Point Magoo, Ventura County Naval Air Station. I was corrected the other night. Where my duty station was, and you'll see Army walking through, you'll see, all of the above, Air Force, helicopters, aircraft landing, leaving. So they're pretty much joint bases now. Village people in the Navy. What's up, Blazer? Oh, Zen. I got to pay attention here. Let me keep looking here. Oh, Brits. They were there, but I didn't have any really direct interaction with them. Not at my FOB and the surrounding patrols and missions that we went on. I didn't encounter any of the Brits. I've had a few British Special Forces SAS come in my live stream, and he was sharing his experience with us over there, praising us. And, it's like, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you meet up with each other over there and you have any interaction with each other, man, you're sharing the same denominator. It's like, doesn't matter where you're from. Everybody is over there in the same harm's way, and they got two priorities, and that is they're to do their job, get the job done, and to come home, no matter where you're from, whether it's Ukraine, Italy, UK, Australia, USA, Philippines. Everybody's their goal is the same, is to get the mission done and to get home. And that's what it is. You don't care about anything else. People ask, oh, so what do you think about the war and whether or not we should have been there? And I'm like, who cares? I just had a job to do, and I wanted to get home, as were everybody else. And we put our signature on that dotted line. So I volunteered for that. Whether we should be there or not, I volunteered for that. So it doesn't matter why we're there. It doesn't matter. I'm a corpsman. I take care of people. Bring me a person so I can work on them, please. Or I'm bored. Please get sick or injured so I give Doc something to do. What a morbid philosophy, but it's true. What else do I do? It's boring reading books for 7 months and watching movies and counting my 9mm rounds in my cover when I sit on the shitter and put the rounds back in the magazine just because I'm bored. Or whittling sticks. You don't think I did that? I even smoked cigarettes while I was there. And I don't smoke. Why? Because it was something to do I hadn't done yet. So some guy had Benson and Hedges menthol 100 lights. Give me one of those. So I smoked. It was something to do, something to pass time. Why? Because I had nothing to do. That was my whole deployment. Most of my deployment was hurry up and wait. You have heat stroke. Interesting name there, dumbass. It's almost like okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I lost the battery. Okay. I had to. That's the only drawback with this digital SLR is it doesn't have a an external battery option to charge it. Sorry, USB. You know, a charger. It only goes by battery, so I got to keep batteries charged and rotate them as they die. That kind of sucks. It's like I can't charge the phone. I can't charge the camera. Oh, Teo, did you come back? You could have read. Oh, I read so much, Oswald. Oh my gosh. I had my climbing magazines sent to me, my subscription. I had my wife send me that in care packages. What else did I read? I actually built a climbing wall. You know, the indoor climbing. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that. Indoor climbing gyms. I was in the climbing circles for over 30 years. So indoor climbing. I ended up finding out that some other guy was building a rock climbing wall at one of the other fobs. And I went, no way, really? So I contacted him, I think via email from the fob in the MWR room, Marine Welfare Recreation Room, where they had the laptops, where we could use a landline and or laptop. And I communicated with him, and he gave me some points of contact at where he got his rock climbing holds, the plastic indoor rock climbing holds. So I ended up contacting like 3 companies in the United States, one in Colorado, I forget where the others were. And I just emailed them and told them, I'm actually in Iraq right now. And I'm wanting to build a climbing wall. Would you be able to send me some samples of your holds? And they're like, absolutely. They're writing back there like, are you really in Iraq? I said, yes, I'm really in Iraq. And they sent me boxes of indoor rock climbing holds. And I built this traverse wall, that we call it, going side to side, not up and down, a traverse workout wall of indoor rock climbing holds across this cement wall that was outside our berthing, this 2-story, 2-deck building that we occupied. Next to it was, we couldn't figure out, it looked like a stage. You know, it had a base and it had a vertical wall behind it. I'm not sure if it was like for public hangings or what that was for, but it was a stage of some kind. Well, on the backside of that stage, that backside of that cement wall was just a blank cement wall with some dividers about every 20 feet, some vertical columns of cement. And I built this rock climbing wall across, it was about 100 feet long. And I plastered those rock climbing holds onto that cement wall with carbondo, which in the climbing circles, we already know that when you're building rock climbing walls, artificial rock climbing walls outdoors, you use carbondo. That adhesive is incredibly strong. And that adhesive is actually stronger than the cement that you're mounting it on. So after it dries up, you can literally take a sledgehammer and try to knock those holes off the wall, and the cement will separate before the adhesive will. So it's super strong. So hence the reason why it's used for that purpose. And so I built this rock climbing wall, 100-foot rock climbing wall. Matter of fact, that here the pictures, I didn't show you it because I didn't want to explain it. But now that I've already explained it, here's me. I had somebody take a picture of me on that rock climbing wall that I built. That's just a small section of it as I'm climbing across this thing. So there I am without my blouse on. And you notice that 9mm holster is empty because I've got it laying on the deck somewhere over there. I'm having somebody watch that weapon, by the way. I wasn't alone. I already got in trouble for leaving my 9mm on the deck, and I'll tell you that story. Somebody mentioned earlier, tell us some Iraq stories. Well, I'll tell you about when I got in trouble. When I first arrived there, within the first 2 weeks of being there, actually it was the first week, when I got chastised by the first sergeant. I got more than chastised. I got assigned manual labor for leaving my 9mm on the deck. You don't do that. You don't, as the Marines and military know, you don't walk any further than 3 feet. You don't leave your weapon any further than 3 feet away from you. They drill that into you. It's part of you. And I walked away from it more than 3 feet, probably no more than 10 feet. And the first sergeant nabbed it while I had my back turned. And then when I turned around, I didn't look for it. I was retrieving some nails. They were building some cabinets for the BAS, the Battle Aid Station, to put supplies in, medical supplies. So they're building these boxes to insert into these cutout sections in the room. And so I was retrieving some nails. We were doing hammer and nail stuff. And I walked, 10, 15 feet away from my 9mm. And when I decided to look for it, it was gone. And I thought, I didn't say anything. I was trying to be as quiet as I could. And I'm trying to look around like, okay, I know I left it right here. And I'm looking to my right, I'm looking to my left, I'm looking behind me, I'm looking in front of me. Still haven't told anybody. I'm thinking, holy crap, my weapon's gone. It's like fear inside. Holy shit. And I just sat there and I didn't know what to do. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to tell somebody. Where's HM1? That's first class, He's an independent duty corpsman, IDC. And I located him and I went over to him and told him, you're not going to believe this. I told him the sequence of events, and he looked at me and he goes, you're shitting me. And I went, no, my weapon's gone. He's like, come on, let's go. Where'd you leave it? And then we walked back over there, and then he had to stop everybody and get everybody's attention. He had to do it, Hey guys, we got a missing 9mm. Doc's 9mm. And I'm sitting there looking at everybody like, please, somebody come forward with my weapon. And I looked up in front of me, and there's First Sergeant standing in the background up on the walking deck. And he's got his hands behind his back. And he's looking right at me going, problem, Doc? With a half smile on his face. And at the same time, it's like fear and relief. He had his hands behind his back. He goes, problem, Doc? And I went, please tell me you have my weapon. And out from behind his back, and I think he said something like, sucks to be you. And I'm like, okay, what now? He said, you ever feel sandbags before, Doc? And I went, nope. He goes, let me show you. And follow me. He brought me out into the back, 113-degree heat. Yep, it was September 2004. And we arrived there in the middle of August, and so it was about the end of August. And he brought me to the sandbag pit they had all dug out. And he says, see that mortar pit over there? See the guys over there? He said, they're building their mortar pit. They need 50 sandbags. And he showed me. Here's the bag. Don't fill it any more than 3/4 full because you need room to tie it. And here's how you tie it. And after that, carry it over to the mortar pit, which is about 50 yards away. Thank God. And I had to fill 50 sandbags in 113-degree heat. And it was brutal. And he told me, just be careful. And now here I am, the doc, and he's telling me to be careful out in the heat. Like, roger that. I think I know the drill. He says, you take as much time as you need, but I want 50 sandbags over there to the mortar pit. And I went, okay. He said, and he actually took care of me. He brought me food. He brought me drinks. He brought me lunch, and he brought me dinner. I was there that long. It took me 6 hours. And I took breaks. I found out that the guys at the mortar pit had their little stash of cold Gatorade in a cooler down below in their little dugout. And here's another stolen valor dude. Mini Jim. It wasn't base. It was a FOB. I guess it was forward operating base. It was a 1/8 mile, literally barbed wire circle. The Marines figured out that it was 1/8 of a mile around the perimeter. And if they ran around it 8 times, it equaled 1 mile for their PT, their physical fitness. So that was my job initially. I was a BAS corpsman, a battle aid station corpsman. But towards the middle-ish of the deployment, like fourth month or so, they started getting shorthanded out in the field. The platoons that were going out, on missions, they were getting shorthanded with corpsmen. They had to start borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. So corpsmen were kind of disappearing. Even out of our BAS, we had like 6 of us. And then it went down to 4 because they took 2 of us and they put them out in the field. And they never came back. So they became field corpsmen. And then we ended up rotating like one every week to go out with a patrol, with a platoon, and be their corpsman for them. Including snipers platoon. And I had an opportunity to go out with them on one particular mission. That was a cool opportunity. I've talked about it before. But so the answer to your question, yes, I was assigned as a BAS corpsman initially. And then it was kind of both at the end. We'd go out, usually no more than 2 days, and then come back, tell our story to our fellow corpsmen, kind of give them like a Yeah, so how was it? They always ask, so how was it? I would share my experience with them so that they could get an idea of what they might, just additional education for them to what to expect. What'd you wear? Did it get cold? How much food did you bring? What was it? How was it? What'd you do? It's, anything for entertainment. Believe me, it was a lot of downtime. So, Whiskey Eye. Oh, Mini Jim and Whiskey Eye and the rest of you guys that I missed when you come in, hit the thumbs up if you would, amidst your silly comments. Some of you. It's okay. Just let them in. Remember, Patricia, you have an ignore button. Click on their three dots or click on their name and just hit block or ignore or whatever the feature is. Don't be afraid to use that. They'll disappear. They'll disappear to you and you to them. So you won't even know they're there. It's up to me to get rid of them if they want to continue being stupid. Or up to a moderator. And I'll probably end up making you a moderator eventually, Patricia. Psychiatric help. Mini Jim, I'm a handsome man. Thank God for beautiful people, huh? That's all right. I kind of feel like you do, Patricia, but after a while, doing this for, an extended period of time, it's watch hours to me. These people that come in, unfortunately, they affect you more than they affect me because you get to, you get to read it. Oh, I know. But I'm going to tell you now, and I think you've already heard the advice that I gave, some of the other mods, the moderators, is the goal is to keep them here. You want to get as many people in as possible and keep them here. So if you can use your tact and get their attention and calm them down and get them to stop being stupid, then you've won. And I've done it before. People apologize and they end up becoming regulars. But if they just want to be stupid and continue to be stupid, then it's just inevitable that they're going to get kicked out of here. Give them 3 strikes, give them an opportunity. When you're a moderator, you know the drill. And if they decide not to stop, then see ya. You get to put them on a vacation. Yeah, Mini Jim. Aren't you one of the trolls that just came in and called me a stolen valor? Mod me, I'm sober today. You get people in here that remind me of the gal that I chased when I was in Louisiana. I've mentioned it briefly in the past, where they come in and they'll get the whole room in me convinced of their story until one day he sent me an email because I list my email in my description. And he wanted to continue, ask me some private questions or something, whatever his excuse was. And he sent some pictures of his wife's ultrasound because he was a new daddy, apparently. So he sent me the pictures of her ultrasound, and they were ultrasound pictures, But I got this suspicion, that they weren't legit. So I did a Google search. Voila. And there it popped up with a watermark. I think that's what cued me in, is that the photo that he used had a watermark on it. I was like, wait a minute. So I Googled it, and there it was, amidst others like it, coming from a website or something. And I went, this guy's full of it. And he had us going for weeks, this ongoing saga of him and his new wife and the child, her being pregnant, and it turned out to be just a big old hoax. I'm like, gosh. So people are out there that have some agenda, and I don't know why. That's what reminded me of that woman. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with her. Why is she doing this? What illness is she suffering from? I wanted a diagnosis, being in the medical field. It's like I wanted to figure it out. I never did figure it out, but it was bizarre what I experienced. And the roller coaster ride she took me on was something right out of a Tom Clancy novel. And I'm not kidding. I told you I have the names of 25 chapters from that 8 months experience in Louisiana from her. I even gave the book a title. It's called Her Beautiful Mind. An offshoot of A Beautiful Mind, the schizophrenic movie of Russell Crowe played the key role, and it was a true story of a schizophrenic's life and what he went through, what he suffered. And I think I met the female version of that. I lived with her for 8 months. Unbelievable. Bizarre, to say the least. Oh, here, I told you eventually I'm going to probably talk about it, but I can share little tidbits of who this person was, who this lady was. There was one instance, some of you that I think somebody said they were living in Louisiana or were from Louisiana, something. They might be able to identify with the landmarks I'm about to mention. The Delta there that was built, remember, during whatever hurricane that came through and flooded that section of Louisiana, and that Delta failed and caused that widespread flooding. Well, that Delta, I forget the name of it, the Mississippi River, no, something Delta. It has a footpath, a bike path on top of it. And we went up on that, and we're just walking, as two lovebirds do, talking. And I was at one point in my relationship where I started confronting her with what I believed to be lies, loopholes in her story. And I got confident enough to confront her and just come right out and ask, what's going on? Why did you say that? And yet I see this, type question. And her answer was, and I ain't making this up, this is word for word. She stopped, she turned, she looked at me right in the eyes, and I could see, you can tell when somebody is starting to well up and, about to cry. And she was getting to that point, looking at me, and she said, Gary, I've been doing this for 20 years. She didn't say what, but she said, I've been doing this for 20 years. She paused, she's like, her eyes are looking. She goes, takes her eyes away from me, and then she looks back at me and she says, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm good. I'm very good. And sometimes it's scary. And I'm looking going, what? And tears coming down her cheek at that point. Gary, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm good. I'm very good. And sometimes it's scary. And I was like, goosebumps. Like, what the? And that was it. She turned and we continued walking. I was like sitting there, what the fuck? And it fits. She was good. She was very good. And it scared me. My head was spinning at times, trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Why is she doing this? There was no answer to anything. It was just bizarre. The things that she did were so legitimate. They seemed to be so real. And then I find out otherwise later. And I'm like, why? Why would you have a seizure and become incontinent and pee all over your couch and have me change you when none of it was real? And you think I'm making this up? She faked it. Everything. From having a seizure disorder to becoming incontinent. Incontinent is loss of urine or bowels. That's typically what happens when somebody has a seizure, or what can happen. They piss themselves because they lose muscle tone and they pee. And I work with it, so that's legit to me. She definitely had a seizure. And she becomes postictal. That's a word for, it's like a lack of consciousness afterwards. They're confused. They're almost unconscious afterwards until they start to regain their consciousness. And they come back and they're confused. They don't know what happened, or they realize they just had a seizure. Sometimes they're emotional. Sometimes they bit their tongue and they're bleeding. They're incontinent. And that's what I experienced with her. I had to change her. I used to catheterize the woman. It wasn't real. And you're wondering, how can that not be real? I'm telling you, she was good. She was very good. And sometimes it was scary. I lived that for 8 months. She was supposedly suffering from Burkitt's lymphoma. She was dying. It was phony. All of it, guys, was a hoax. I'm getting emotional just talking about this. It was the most wildest experience, one of the most wildest experiences of my life. She claimed to be a cardiothoracic trauma surgeon. Did you hear me? A cardiothoracic trauma surgeon. And she no longer worked because she was a liability because of her medical condition. That was the story. It seemed legit. That sounds legitimate. You can't continue to be a doctor and work at that capacity when you've got an illness such as she had. She knew my job as a paramedic. She knew my knowledge base and then some. She was way above my pay grade. Was she really a cardiothoracic trauma surgeon? Honestly, I don't know. Most bizarre, one of the most bizarre chapters of my life. And I'm just beginning to tell you the stories that I encountered with her. I could go on. I have 25 chapters worth in my head. Bizarre. Unbelievable. There, another stolen valor. Yeah, learn how to spell it. Should we get rid of them? You know what? After a while, I just rather talk. I'm telling you, Patricia, mute them. What is the option? It's block, isn't it? Remove? No. I don't have it here. I can't because I'm the host. And if I block them, that would hide them from my view, and I won't know what they're doing. So I can't do it. But what is it on your end? It's I can delete the comment. I can put user on timeout. This is on StreamYard. I'm reading in front of me. And I can ban the user and delete their comments. Let me just delete the comment. Let me pick one and just give an example of what I can do here. But I encourage you guys in the chat room to use that. Yeah, you're talking about. I'm reading your comment. That's insane. Beyond insane. Oh, it was beyond reality. Actually, it wasn't beyond reality. That was the key. Everything seemed real that she was telling me. And I was observing it at times. Okay, I'll tell you another one. Oh my gosh, you're going to get me started. Who can make this stuff up? If you're good and you're very good, and sometimes it's scary, then you can make it up. But that ain't me. I wasn't good, and I wasn't very good, and I'm not scary. At least I don't think I am. Yes, I'm going to tell Gary. Hey, that's my name. Rah, Andrew. Are you a Marine? Rah. Or it's E-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R. Okay, I'm gonna pause on these comments here. I'm not gonna go back, and I was gonna give an example of how to just delete these comments. Where he says stolen valor? There's RK. Let me click on his 3 dots. You just recognize it's a cover, Cold. It's not a hat. Delete the comment here. Let me just delete it. Okay, I don't know what that did on your end or what you can see, but anyhow, here's another story that was I can tell it verbatim. I don't know where we were coming home from, but she lived in Harahan, Louisiana. Those from Louisiana or know Louisiana are familiar with some of these places. There's the Superdome, that's the sports stadium there in Louisiana. I believe that's the Superdome. And she lived right near the Superdome, probably no more than 10 minutes from it, in Harahan. It's a community right outside of New Orleans. And I'm driving back to her house. I was a transient at the time, living in Baton Rouge, driving 70 miles into New Orleans. And then I would stay at her house. She lived with her mother and father. That's another story, but I'm going to hold off on that one. And they occasionally would let me sleep on the couch. And then while I was looking for a job. I was submitting resumes. That's what I was doing. I was commuting into New Orleans to submit resumes. I eventually found a job in St. Bernard Parish. But before that, I was staying at her house. And then I would drive 70 miles back to New Orleans, to Baton Rouge. And I stayed in an apartment with another female friend of hers, actually. Diane. oh my gosh, forgot her name. Anyways, so I'm driving back to her house from the Superdome location, and it's raining cats and dogs, raining hard. Those of you that live down there, Texas area, when it rains, the heavens open up. So it's like, and it's rush hour, so traffic's pretty heavy, and the interstate or the freeway, whatever you call it in your state, comes to an end to a stoplight. Okay. And then it turns into residential area and you go about into the residence. So we came off the highway and we come to the stoplight. It's dumping hard. She's in the passenger seat. I'm driving her car. It was like a Nissan, or was it a Honda? It was a small two-door, I believe, two-door. Yeah, maybe it was four-door. Anyways, smaller car. And she's in the passenger, I'm driving. And we came to the stoplight. She had a pager. And now, see, this is back in 1997, 98. She carried a pager, and she always called it her work. The pager was her work. As far as what her work was is another story. But that's how they contacted her. They paged her. And she had a cell phone. And she would occasionally, her pager would go off. It would alert her. It would buzz. And she would pull that thing out of its holder, that click, and she'd look at it. And usually there's a display on top. And she would see the number, and she would either excuse herself and she would go elsewhere, and get on her phone and call. And I never was privy to what she was saying or what the conversation was. She went to another area to talk. And then she would come back and she was either upset or she didn't talk about it at all. Sometimes she'd say, those effing whatever. And I would always wonder, like, I didn't ask questions. She'd get in my face sometimes and tell me, you're hovering, or she just taught me not to question her. And I just, to avoid conflict, I'd leave her alone. So I didn't ask her about, eventually, over time, I didn't ask her about her conversation, when she got paged. It was always a mystery to me as to, what is she doing? Who is it? It was her work, she told me. So while we're at the stoplight, her pager started buzzing. And I'm just looking over like, that's what's new. Well, she has nowhere to go to be private. Oh, no. Yes, she does. She opens her door. She steps outside. We're at the intersection, rush hour traffic. I'm at a stoplight. She walks out in the rain, pouring down rain. She's a little petite redhead, wears little round specs, like one of the Beatles, whatever his name is. And she steps outside the car in the rain, and she starts pacing back and forth in front of the car. And she's on the phone, and you can tell she's like really, upset and saying things back. She's in the rain. The light turns green. And I'm sitting there going, holy, I'm looking in the rearview mirror like, get in. She's not paying attention to me. I forgot like one of the key things before she stepped outside. She called on the phone and she said, 9687 Alpha Bravo Zulu. No, this line's not secure. Stand by. That's when she said, excuse me, and she walked out the door. Did you hear what I said? She said, 9687 Alpha Bravo Zulu. No, this line's not secure. Stand by. She stepped out the car and started pacing back and forth in front of the car in the pouring down rain. She was getting soaked. And after her conversation, The traffic's honking at me. I had vehicles pulling around. I thought they were going to hit her. And eventually she got done. She came back in. She closed the door. She closed the door and she said, "Let's go." She was pissed. And I'm just sitting there going, holy crap. What was that all about? And we drove and I didn't say anything. I drove her back to her house. Dude, everything that you're guessing right now is just going through my head. She's good. She's very good. And sometimes it's scary. She scared me like that multiple times. And I'm shaking. My foot is shaking right now. I swear. It was bizarre. And I learned not to question her. Because it turned into an argument and a fight, and I didn't want to go there. Just let it happen. Whatever it was she was doing, she had to do. Unbelievable. And you know what? At the very end, let me sum up this 25 chapter book and tell you what happened when I got home. Okay? And this is when I realized that this was all a story. More than likely, none of it was real. I got back to Poway, California, which is a city in San Diego County, North County area. I'm from San Diego, Claremont, actually. Graduated high school in 1980 back home. And Mom lives in Poway. And when I returned with my tail between my legs after that 8 months, literally with my tail between my legs, I was a battered male, psychologically a wreck. And my mom gave me a roof over my head. I was 36 years old. I'm sleeping on Mom's couch in her house until I figured out what to do. And I got a phone call. I think my mom answered it and she said, "It's for you." And I got on the phone and this man was an attorney, identifying himself as an attorney out of such and such Louisiana, in the area that I resided in, that general area, a law firm, an attorney from a such and such law firm. He identified himself, and I'm immediately on edge because he said he's from Louisiana. And I was like, uh-oh. I think he was from Metairie. That's another suburb, Metarie, Metairie. And I know Metairie. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is getting really close to, I was like suspecting something not good to come out of this conversation. And he says, my client is this girl's name, first and last name. And I'm like, not saying anything, listening. Okay. I'm representing her name. And I was like, all right. Apparently, she gave me your name as a contact to reach out to. And I was like, okay. Still not giving any information. And he started telling me that, what was it? I forget what it was that she said that she wanted his representation for. But after hearing what he said about her and this apparent, reason for representing her, I had to stop him and interrupt him and just say, excuse me. Yes, this is me. And yes, I know this lady that you're talking about. And I told him briefly, I just spent 8 months there in Louisiana and I just returned back to California. And now I've got this phone call from you. It was like, I don't know how long it was after I returned. I said, and I started telling him similar stories to what I'm telling you about this lady. And I said, all due respect, but I got the wool pulled over my eyes for 8 months while I was there. I believe what she is telling you now, you're getting fooled. And you're getting the wool pulled over your eyes. And I said, all due respect, I understand and he even told me his experience, his resume, basically. He's been doing this for 15 years or whatever. And well, he told me after the fact, I heard what you said. I've been an attorney for this long. And now you're telling me that I'm getting the wool pulled over my eyes. I said, absolutely. And he just stood, he's like, got quiet. And he said, I appreciate you, being transparent and sharing that with me. I'm going to have to do some more research. And if you don't mind, I'll keep your number and I'll get back to you. He got back to me about 2 weeks later, and he just wanted to let me know that Mrs. So-and-so is currently being investigated for narcotics fraud. Oh my God, I haven't even gone there and told you this chapter yet. And other. And I went, thank you very much. He goes, I appreciate you sharing that with me. But that prompted me to investigate further. And she was currently being investigated for narcotics fraud and other offenses. And I went, doesn't surprise me. Narcotics fraud came from this part of her MOS. Her MO, modus operandi, was she claimed to be a physician. She had a prescription pad. I went with her. I was her taxi driver. I was the driver when I was present with her. So I drove her everywhere. Sometimes we'd go into pharmacies. The pharmacies would address her as Dr. So-and-so, her last name. She had a prescription pad. I saw it. It had her name at the bottom of the prescription pad. She wrote prescriptions for her cousin, who was apparently on a narcotic. And she would write prescriptions for like Oxycontin or whatever. She would go into pharmacies and be addressed as Dr. her last name. It was all a fraud, guys. Everything. She's been doing it for 20 years. She's good. She's very good. And sometimes it's scary. I can't make this up. It was wild. She broke her. I watched her. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I didn't see that injury, but she broke her tailbone. The person who I went to pick her up and take her to pick her up told me what happened. That they heard a crash out on her porch. They went out there, and there's Jamie is her first name. Her name's Jacqueline. They called her Jamie. There's Jamie sitting on the porch on her butt in tears, holding her, her rear end. And apparently the porch swing broke and landed, and she landed on her tailbone. And I saw the x-ray. I took her to the doctor, and they showed me the x-ray. Her tailbone was broken up and into her butt, basically, upwards. She didn't fall off a porch swing. She dropped herself. She fell on purpose from a standing position. I don't know how she did it, but she fell on her own. How do I know this? I don't even remember. Somebody told me, or the doctor maybe, or maybe she did. I don't remember. But that's what actually happened. She threw herself so that she could get narcotics. She was put on, she was a hospice patient. I was there when she got approved as a hospice patient. She was dying again, remember, from Burkitt's lymphoma. She had a morphine patch, and she was taking narcotics orally with a morphine patch. It's a gel or a cream. God, I used to put subderm patches on patients. She had one on her shoulder, on her back. It was a narcotic. She was approved for it. She was a dying hospice patient. It was a fake, people. She wasn't. I had 911 paramedics. I am a paramedic. I had 911 paramedics respond to my apartment. She was supposedly suffering from chest pain. The paramedics read right through it. Didn't even treat her. Gave her the option to be transported or sign out on an AMA against medical advice. She ended up signing out, signing away. They went away. She eventually got disapproved and taken off of hospice care because they realized she was a phony. God, I never thought I'd be talking about this much. These are just chapters after chapters after chapters after chapters that I could keep going and going and going and telling you about this lady. She tried to jump out of my car doing 45 miles an hour. If I wouldn't have grabbed her, she would have landed on that asphalt and tumbled back doing 45 miles an hour. We were in a heated argument. And she was fed up. She threatened to jump out of the car. If you don't stop, I'm going out this door. Yeah, sure you will. Whoomp. I reached over and grabbed her. I was like, oh my God. And I stayed with her. And I continued to stay with her. She had a 9-year-old son. His name was Evan. He used to call me Mr. Gary. Made my heart do this. I love the heck out of that kid. I was going to marry her. I sat at the dining room table and asked her mom and dad to marry her. All right, Bonamy. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. Because the wanting drugs part wasn't apparent to me that was her problem. You know, that she was a narcotics fraud. She was dying from Burkitt's lymphoma. She was in pain, you know, and it made sense that she needed pain relief. You know, she was suffering. It's not unusual for dying people to put on hospice care. Unbelievable. So YouTube, or your local country girl, thanks for coming in. So I'm going to end it there because I'm getting all worked up and literally shaking and emotional sometimes telling these stories because it got me so upset and so emotional finding out about all this, you know. I was going through this the way I'm feeling, that I was just feeling a moment ago while I was there with her. I eventually left. I had 2 Mormon missionaries approach me while I was camping out of the back of my truck one morning and invited me to have spaghetti dinner in their apartment. And I accepted it, of course. Free spaghetti dinner and French bread. And they fed me and we just talked. And I don't know if you know, they educated me, their routine, how they go on a 2-year mission. And then after 2 years, they go back home. And usually like another Mormon missionary will come out and relieve the one guy while the newer guy stays there. And then now he's got a new partner and they do two. And then the other guy's 2-year ends before the other guy that just came on. Anyways, and they rotate that way. Well, I went to dinner with them. Not the spaghetti dinner, but I heard the one missionary was going home. His 2 years had already ended. So his dad from Utah was coming to pick him up, and they invited me to dinner with them when their dad arrived. So I went out to dinner with them at a restaurant, and I ended up opening up to them. They actually encouraged me, tell my dad, he's a retired FBI agent. And I went, whoa, really? Now this seemed more legit, that dad coming to pick him up was actually, an FBI agent or retired. So I told him my story, a condensed version about this lady. And he just stayed quiet. God love him. And he listened to me, every detail about it. And after I was done, he said, could I give you some advice? I was like, please. He said, run, Forrest, run. And I was like, that's all I needed to know. That was it. That was the catalyst finally to get me out of Dodge. And I began the process. I put in my 2-week notice in St. Bernard Parish as a paramedic. I had to go. I filled up my dual gas tanks in my Ford F-150. And I drove over to Jamie's house. I said my goodbyes, tears and all, hers as well, as she was smoking her Benson and Hedges right there on the porch and drinking her cowboy coffee that she had every morning and her Slurpee from 7-Eleven. I used to take her down there and do that routine for months. And I said my goodbye and I started my drive back to San Diego. And that was my great escape. After 8 months. What's going on? I could never give up. So that was my story. Sorry if I missed some of you guys having to leave, like Bonami, Seth Dog Good, James Michael. Oh, all you guys who just came in, don't forget the thumbs up. If you would, the least I could ask. Patricia, CIA, narcotics fraud, like scamming doctors? No. Well, in her case, she was writing narcotic prescriptions, posing as a physician. Earlier, you asked, what do I think about today's generation? That's another subject. You have a tail. Is the Black Ops 1 campaign? Is this Black Ops 1 campaign? I am Colton, Trump or Biden, terrifying, undercover. You're undercover. I'm just reading these comments. There's another, what do you think about today's generation? I saw that earlier. I just didn't. I was on a roll talking about something else. And there, what's up, sir? Can we get a story? That was what I last remember reading. And somebody keeps copying and pasting. What do you think about today's generation? They're just another generation with smartphones and social media instead of the library and Encyclopedia Britannica. And Leo, praise God for the military. Here I can actually post, I forgot about this. I can post their comment up on the screen there. I forgot. I should be using this more often. Get you guys involved here. Okay, I'm back. The Xbox did it again. Actually, I did it to the Xbox. So sorry about that. Oh, I was doing this, and now I'm doing it again. It's like I'm playing with fire, Gary. All I was doing was clicking on. What's your question? Oh, could you give me? I saw your question as I was logging back in. I looked on my phone. Advice for somebody suffering from loneliness, depression. Yeah, get to know the truth. If you don't know the truth, ask somebody, or I can tell you, because the truth will make you free from um, situations like that. I'm telling you, you know, before you do something stupid, get to know the truth. Um, I shouldn't call it stupid. Before you do something, before you harm yourself or others, get to know the truth. God forbid you leave this earth without knowing the truth. And by the way, the truth isn't a something, it's a someone. If you don't know who that is, ask uh, your local church or the local pastor. Literally, make an appointment. That would be advice as well. Make an appointment with a pastor of a local church, and tell him that. Ask him the same thing you just asked me. I am Grady. Hoorah, 242. The same with us. Were you in the Canadian military? Ooh, 84. Hoorah. Master Guns. I know that. I know that symbol. Same as uh, first sergeant, right? But Master Guns is behind the desk in the office, and first sergeant is out in the field. Am I remembering my military? I mean, my Marine Corps ranks. Yeah, that's him. That's you. 3 bars up and 3 bars down, right? Is that first sergeant? Am I saying the right rank? And Master Guns? You're both E. What is that? E8, E9? Help me out. I'm trying to remember. Marine Corps, hoorah! Well, you recognize the hat, I'm sure. You recognize my name. See, that's the difference between a troll and somebody that actually knows his shit. From Wales. Hey, that's my heritage background. Welsh. Thanks, Grady. Yeah, what's the joke? Master Guns sit behind a desk. First sergeant actually works, or something like that. Yeah, I met both while I was over there. I actually uh, I treated first sergeant. He's the one that initially, I just got done talking earlier about getting in trouble when I first arrived in Iraq, and first sergeant busted me, and he gave me 50 sandbags to fill as my punishment in 113-degree weather. And then at the very end, I ended up with first sergeant's arm around my shoulder, along with another corpsman on his other arm, helping him as he's limping to the 7-ton, because he ended up getting hit by shrapnel or something. We're not sure what it was, but whatever it was, cut him up, cut his scapula, right scapula, and his right calf muscle on his lower leg. So he ended up getting. I got a video on my playlist of him being airlifted out by CH a Black Hawk, equivalent to a Black Hawk, different nomenclature. But yeah, I actually didn't know that somebody was filming us as we were carrying him out on a stretcher. And the one corpsman had never gone through this process for real, and so he wanted to actually do it. And I was assigned the duty, but I told him, go ahead, man, be a good experience for you. So he gave me his camera and he wanted me to take some pictures while he was doing that. So I got down, I kneeled down in a kneeling position as they went up to the helicopter and loaded him up. First sergeant. So first sergeant got a ride home to Germany or USA, whatever, because of that injury that he received. Somebody was filming on the rooftop on one of our OP's operating observation post on our rooftop. And I didn't know he was filming, and he put it on YouTube. And in years later, I'm going to say like more than 10, 15 years later, I found it on YouTube. And I looked at it and I'm like, that's me. That's us taking first sergeant out to the helicopter. And sure enough, I kneel down and you can see, well, it's a distant shot, but who else would that be? So I took that clip. I got permission to use that. And I took that short part of the video and I incorporated it into my story. So you can see it on my playlist, on the paramedic military playlist. And you can find the, I think it's called the HH60 extract, first sergeant or something. I think something to that effect, because I believe the nomenclature of the helicopter was an HH60. It was a medical transport, CH60. Look at that. It was first sergeant that stood in my son's barracks and told Mr. that they knew my son was messed up and he needed to come back from Afghanistan. Wow. What a story. Albania. Wait, number 3 planet Enver hoax. What? All right, Grady. From Israel, Willie. Hoorah. We got Canada, Israel. We got the Middle East. At least we had somebody. The USA. Mr. Hyde. I think I remember that name, Mr. Hyde. Didn't you come in before? I believe so. Wales. I think Germany is in here. I saw the German language. And this comment right here. This is it almost looks Thai, but it's not. I'm not sure if that's Hindu or like somewhere in Asia. We got Israel. And I have to ask Patricia, and I don't mean to bring up any sore spots, but what do you mean they didn't do anything to help him? You're talking about First Sergeant himself, or there's always missing parts of the story that I don't know about. So I'm asking. You're talking about the Marines in general didn't do anything to help it? Hindi, not Hindu. Okay. Is that what it is? Is it Hindi language? Then again, if I'm referring to the people, it wouldn't be Hindi, it'd be Hindu. Maybe I just used it out of context. And are you a witch? I always wonder, are these like 13-year-olds behind a keyboard, in their bedrooms, just coming up with wild, off the top of their head comments? I always wonder, what's going through their brain? Well, this guy, oh my goodness gracious. Uh, Developed his channel a year ago, so users here that are coming in the room, whether or not how long ago they developed their YouTube channel. For example, Tim, how new are you? 3 years ago. All right, I'll leave you, unless you say something stupid. Yeah, anyways, that's what moderators are for. I should make you a moderator. I don't have any of my mods in the room right now. Patricia, you want to be a moderator? You want to get busy? Oh, I see. Well, that was a good thing, right? They had to extend his contract in order to hospitalize him. I understand that, because he's got to be a Marine, in order to be to be treated. So if he's not on contract, they can't do anything. So. Yeah, I think it's about that time. I need some help, so I'm going to utilize your services there, Miss Pat. Voila, you're blue. Just do whatever you want. I'm not even going to give you any instructions. You do what you want. If you're getting sick of them, then get rid of them. Give you something else to do. Keep you busy. A little more fun while you're. Sure, go ahead. Make fun. What's up? Just don't be stupid. You got Patricia. You got the hound loose. I let the hounds loose. Unconstitutional and subversive. Masonry? Can't handle the truth about that. And illegal. You can't handle the truth about that. What? What? Oh my gosh, you're blue, Patricia. What happened? Are you feeling okay? Yeah, what's up with this? What is this comment? I can't make sense of it. Like, what? Masonry in the Marines is unconstitutional and subversive and illegal. You can't handle the truth about that? Dude, I want some. Got any more? You're welcome. Wow, you look like John Brennan when you look up like that. Let's look up like that. And I got to ask now, okay, you're baiting me. Who's John Brennan? You're welcome, Drew. Don't forget the thumbs up if you didn't already. No, I'm a phony. Rose. Rose, are you Filipina? Almost looks like it. Rose Langusta. Or are you Latina? Ah, is it really? That's cool. Douglas MacArthur. What do we have so far, Patricia? We got Clint Eastwood, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what? That's a little bit high. I think I need to lower that just a bit. Is that too low? Yeah, it is. Cut my head off. Okay, there we go. I think that's better. Still kind of cut my head off. Let's see here. That's going to be too high. That's just right. Okay. What else? Now you're talking about masons, not masonry. I thought you were talking about like bricklayers in the Marines. That's why I was confused. I'm like, what? Marines can't lay bricks? Rose. Pierce Brosnan. That's the other one, look-alike that I've been told. That's Bond, James Bond. So now we got Douglas MacArthur. Oh, I've been told I look like what's the judge on America's Got Talent? The guy from the UK, the one that owns the Simon Cowell. I've been told Simon Cowell. I'm like, come on, I'm better looking than Simon. So how's it feel, Patricia? Are you warm now with that blue jacket? I'm on the East Coast, so it's almost 4 a.m. How about you? Are you a girl or a guy? Local country. It says a girl, but who knows? I wish I could share screen, but I'm afraid to do it. It'll shut this Xbox off. Three o'clock for you, Stacy. So you're an hour behind me. Are you like in Missouri, or Indiana, Kentucky, Texas, Oklahoma? I'm assuming that's still Central Time. Minnesota. Okay, maybe you said earlier, or there was somebody else from Minnesota. I forgot about those. 10 o'clock there. 10 a.m. Is that right, Rose? 10 p.m. or what? 10 what? Military time, that's 10 in the morning. Actually, you don't even need the ... but you're a girl. Okay. You like your toasty new jacket? So again, is that 10 in the morning? Or 10 p.m.? I'm trying to guess where you are. 10 in the morning, I would assume, right? So if it's 10 in the morning, you're 6 hours. So you keep saying yes. You got to be more specific because I'm talking and I don't know what yes. You're answering to my 10 in the morning. So that means you're 6 hours ahead of me. So that puts you in somewhere in Europe. 6 hours. You're not in the UK. That's 5 hours. So 6 hours would put you like in Scotland or maybe Spain or yeah, AM. Oh, she did say AM. Sorry. Why did I not see that? 10 o'clock there. I didn't see AM. You mean she agreed with me when I said AM? Because I don't see AM. Oh, yes, AM. Oh, I see it now. I thought that was yes, like in forgetting the I am. Yes, AM. Okay. You see, that's why punctuation is important. If it was A dot M dot, then I would have. Did I get one of the countries right? Where you're at, Stacy? Spain, somewhere just further east of the UK. Germany, um, Spain, Italy. I'm trying to remember my geography. I'm horrible at it. Which one? Oh, Austria. There we go. You see? Did I say Austria? I don't think I said Austria, but that's what I was thinking up there in the up in the Alps of that region. Is that how you spell it in your country? Österreich? Österreich. Am I saying it close to your accent? I'm probably way off, but the A, E, I, O, U is the same throughout the world, it appears. So it's Österreich, 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 something like that. Austria, Österreich. I don't know how to pronounce the O with the dot dot. Österreich, Österreich, Österreich. I almost want to hear your voice now. Say it. Österreich. Yeah. Okay. Teufelhunden. Lima, second. Ooh, where'd you come from, Florida? Hoorah. Hoorah. Wow. Now, what's the 0707? Look, is that a typo or you're in 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines, 27? A little confused there. No, 36. Sorry, you just said above. Okay. What's Lima 2nd 0707? Man, see, that's Marine Corps speak, and I didn't learn it all. Thank you, Rose. Lost my, oh, there we go. I'm going to say my controller stopped working. It's kind of lagging. I can see it. Ta-da! I'm back. Yes, Patricia. He's 3-6, 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. Hoorah. Yep, that's right. The typical Marine Corps deployment, 7 months. That was what mine was. I was the end of August through April. August 04 to April 05. 7 months. The whole deployment was about 10 months, as was probably for you. I don't know how quickly you ended up going over, but from beginning to end, it turned out to be about 10 months. When I got the phone call and when I reported, we spent this much time doing some training, mount training there outside of March Air Force Base in 29 Palms. Wait, was that when we came back? No, I think it was when I deployed. Before I went to Camp Lejeune, I think we did a couple days at that mount training outside of March Air Force Base. And then they flew us to Camp Lejeune. And then I spent like over a month there because they lost my paperwork or something. There was like 3 classes that rotated past me. The group that I arrived with, I couldn't even leave with them because they didn't have my paperwork squared away. I don't know what happened. So like 2 classes later, or 2 mobilizations later, I finally went to meet up with my unit in Houston, Texas, the 123 Marines out of Houston, Texas. And when I got there, they're like, "Oh, they already went to 29 Palms." And I went, "Okay, so what do I do?" "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll get you a ticket. Just hang out. They got my cell number and they said, we'll call you when it's ready. So I went and visited my friend in Galveston, Texas, and went sailing on Galveston Bay for a little bit. Stayed on his boat, on his 27-foot California sailboat, and then finally got the phone call. Went back to the base, got my ticket, flew to California to 29 Palms, and finally married up with the unit. And that's when they interviewed me and, so who are you? Where do you come from? What do you do? I told them I was a civilian paramedic. And they looked at each other, like the whole panel of 12 of them, all the commissioned and higher ranking enlisted, we're all like 12 of them. And I'm by my lonesome out in a chair out in front of them. And they're all kind of introducing themselves one by one, and then asked me what I was doing, what I did for a living in the civilian world. And when they heard that, they said, well, just to let you know, we're putting together a unit to occupy one of the most heavily mortared and rocketed FOBs at the theater at this time. And I was like, okay. And they're like, and you, with your experience, fits that bill. And we're going to put you together with them to occupy FOB Heat there in the Al Anbar province. And I just got nervous as heck. Holy crap. And then they started calming me down and saying, before you start, losing your mind, you're not going to be alone. There's going to be half the battalion is assigned to FOB Heat. The other half is at Haditha Dam. We're all doing this together. A lot of us have never been deployed, like this, mostly peacetime stuff, nothing wartime. So this is our first rodeo with this, at least, at this level, I guess you could call it. And so what they did, they were just encouraging me that you're not alone and we all have each other's back. And we're all here to do the same thing, and we're all here to get home. And after that, I was like, well, it made me feel a lot better, that I'm not just going to be sent there with some other people that are not here. No, the group is all here. They're just out on the base right now, going through the mobilization process. And so that was the instructions. And then from there, I went my way and, got my orders to do what to do next, and got to qualify on the range and give and start the anthrax series to you guys. And so we spent like almost 2 months there at Camp Lejeune, maybe a month plus, before we actually flew to Germany, refueled into Kuwait, and then had the wild helicopter ride from Kuwait into to Al Assad base, and then they 7-ton trucked us to the FOB, and that was my home for the next 7 months. Again, if you guys haven't already, be sure and click the thumbs up. I'm good, Tricia. I'm just reading your comments there on the screen. And I'm done with my little rant that I was just on. 10 people. Are there 10 people in the room right now? It says there's 10 people viewing. Come in, come in. Join in on the chat. So, Patricia, I know you're busy chatting and typing. So, how tall are you? I'm just trying to picture you. I have no idea. Not that it matters, but how tall are you? Are you originally a blonde, redhead, brunette? I know things change over time, but are you tall? Are you short? What's your heritage background? Stop flirting with Patricia. Hey, she's the only girl in the room. Heck, it's like being deployed for 7 months and nothing but guys. I don't know if you heard me. I'm starting to lag again. Fine weather. You are traumatized. Are you regretting or more proud? Talking to me? Sorry, this thing's lagging a little bit. So, oh, local country is a girl. Okay. Um, Stop flirting with Patricia. 5'7", brunette, overweight. Well, you didn't need to share that, but thank you. 5'7", so you're relatively tall. Oh, look, oh my God, it did it again.